if you weren't able to come, I was going to Photoshop Kevin into hit the chair over here. And then when I just felt like it was necessary, I was just going to make him say, yeah. What's going on, fish? Welcome back to your favorite koi pond. I am joined today with not Kevin, but one of my best friends, Matt. Token Dallas fan, so we didn't lose that, undoubtedly. Course. But, I regret to inform everyone with a heavy heart that Kevin's out of town this week. So we move on. We got to find a filler. The show keeps going on. Thank you all so much for the support on the last video. I don't know if anybody noticed, but it got 120 views, which is outrageous. Thank you all so much for that. And we also, I think, picked up a few subscribers along the way. So that's amazing. It's, we were all hitting like 40 views, 120. Don't know how that happened, but thank you so much. However, this week there's absolutely no NFL news going on at all. I think the most that happened today was Josh Allen for the Jaguars got signed 5 years, $150 million. So Jaguars lost Gabe Davis, but they keep that. Good, or they also got Gabe Davis. It's going to be one of those days. Yeah. But we're going to basically just be going through way too early predictions for the NFL. We're just going to run through them by division, kind of give our takes as we go, and we'll see what kind of happens from there, spark any conversation. We'll probably keep this to a short video because without our absolutely amazing, the ginger that we all love so much. Now he's gone to the big ginger in the sky, Mexico. So we'll keep it rolling. It'll be good. But yeah, Matt's been a best friend of mine for many, many years. We're neighbors. We're the crew that always runs to Elsa's. Mike, if you're watching, you'll understand. Yeah, and he was nice enough to fill in for us today on short notice. So we should be fun. I know we always have some pretty good conversations, so hopefully this is no different. And don't worry, even though Kevin is gone, we still have all of his fun facts that we will be running through today. So if you wait for each week for this episode, we haven't lost that. Nevertheless, I think we're just going to start right into this. AFC East. We got Buffalo, Miami, New York Jets, and New England Patriots. This division
I feel like it ends the same way right there. Buffalo, Miami, Jets, New England.
The only thing that could change, in my opinion, is if Aaron Rodgers is healthy. They had the top defense in the NFL last year, and they had the worst offense, and I'd say it was mostly due to quarterback play. They have Breece Hall. I think they have one of the Wilsons, Garrett Wilson, maybe.
Garrett Wilson, yes, yeah.
And, the fact they got 7 wins is kind of crazy.
I still don't think Aaron Rodgers coming in is going to make that big of a jump on an impact, though.
I think
he's still getting older.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely
and he's coming
older.
off a season-ending injury.
True, but he had, the crazy, ayahuasca, Achilles tear medicine, whatever they made him robotic, no COVID shots.
Magically quick.
Yeah, he prayed to Allah, whatever he did. But I don't know. Miami lost a lot of defense too. They kept Xavier Howard and maybe Jordan. Was it Jordan Ramsey?
Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey. Yeah. Thank you. But and Buffalo losing those wide receivers, I don't think that's a problem. I mean, Diggs kind of feels like a cancer in the locker room.
Who is their wide receivers now, though? I can't even tell you.
Shakir.
The old rookie or something.
Shakir. They've got that weird wide receiver because they lost Davis. They lost Diggs.
Yeah.
They still have Kincaid and Knox, as far as I remember. But, I don't think the Jets by any means win the division. That's blasphemy in my opinion. But I think there's some, between second and third, there could be a chance.
Not
just
running
with
back
health.
The Jets Super Bowl winner I had last year. I had that picked up, but
yeah, I think we all jumped on the Jets to win the Super Bowl maybe last year once they heard Aaron Rodgers was leaving and going there. Yeah. But right now with their over/under being at 9.5, it feels like the sports books probably understand that. With Miami also being at 9.5 over/under total wins, I don't know if I really.
I don't think the Jets get anywhere near 9 wins next year.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd assume they'd still steal one from Miami, New England definitely, and maybe even Buffalo in the early half of the season.
I just don't see it. I think there's internal problems there. I think the whole team's just in turmoil with the Jets. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. See, I could see Tua having a worse year next year compared to this past year.
I could see that being probably one of the worst divisions in the AFC, right behind the West.
I could see that.
Yeah.
You know what? That's not a terrible take. But I guess we'll see what happens. Out of all of those over-unders, though, part of me almost would want to take New England over 5.5 next year.
I think New England would be better than last year for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's only 2 more wins, even with that Mac Jones team. R.I.P. the GOAT.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know if I could really see any of them going crazy because, like you said, the Jets still don't know if Aaron Rodgers is their guy. Yeah. The Dolphins still have Tua.
Horrible defense. Buffalo lost some big parts. I think they missed their playoff championship window.
Do you think the window's closed?
Their window's closed. Yes.
I feel like it's getting there because they have Dalvin Cook. Whoever their running back is.
I thought he's gone too now.
He is.
Or a free agent at least.
No, you're right. I can't remember who the running back is there now.
Was it?
It's not Singletary.
Yeah, I can't tell you. Yeah.
Is it Singletary? Well, whoever it is.
Yeah.
It's like you lose your top 2 receivers, and now you're stuck with having to draft, and you're like number 23, 25 in the draft. It feels tough, but I don't hate the head coaching difference, though, of Sean McDermott compared to those other 3 that are all relatively new, I think would be the reason they win the division, but I don't think it's going to be
They're not going to be a deep run,
no, it's not going to be one of those AFC teams. I think it's a dark horse or, has potential.
I agree with that.
So, we'll leave it there. Pretty much shit division next year. Buffalo will probably be decent, and then who knows between what Tua does, what Aaron Rodgers does, Jacoby Brissett if the Patriots don't take the quarterback.
Keep him,
yeah. Mayo and New England. I don't know what their plan is. First-year head coach, that comes with question marks. So that's it for the AFC East. We'll just leave it there because, frankly, that's going to be tough. Going on to the AFC North. Ravens, Browns, Steelers, Cincinnati. That's going to be crazy.
That's the scariest division in football right there.
The Ravens lost a lot of their front office people.
Yes.
And they didn't I think they might have lost, Patrick Queen to the Steelers.
Yeah, they lost a safety to the Bengals, and then they lost both their running backs.
Yeah,
except for maybe J.K. Dobbins. Is he gone yet?
He's shopping new spots. Okay. Gus Edwards is with the Chargers. And then
but they did get Derrick Henry.
They did get Derrick. That's fucking right.
That's
they did
scary.
Get Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
But, fuck.
That's what I'm saying. So the Ravens are still going to be a top contender.
Ravens still looking good. Zay Flowers can only get better from there.
Cleveland with Nick Chubb back is going to be scary.
That'll be good, but the only reason that team felt as good as they did is because Joe Flacco had the second half of centuries. I mean, I really don't believe Deshaun Watson's a guy.
I don't think so either.
He's had too many chances and he's been injured too much for all that guaranteed money. I think Cleveland drops from that second spot.
I think Cleveland ends 4th, Pitt ends 3rd, Cincy
second.
Cincy second, Cincy first if everyone stays healthy. I think Cincy goes second because everyone on that team gets hurt or clashing divas.
Joe Mixon's gone, so I don't know if he was really a cancer, but there was a lot of news headlines last year about him beating up some woman. Or something like that.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Something weird. But now they have Zach Moss, who I like a lot.
And is it Brown, their second running back?
Yes, I think
Chase Brown, I think it is. Maybe
something like that.
But he did pretty well last year when Mixon was hurt.
And
he carried the load enough.
Tyler Boyd's Tyler Boyd. With Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
And they still have that deep, unless Irwin might have gone somewhere in Hudson.
Irwin Smith went somewhere. Hudson and Sample stayed.
Okay, yeah. So the Bengals, I think, if they stay healthy,
they're good.
I really think that's the key, like you said. Bengals staying healthy. Easy second.
I think
possible first.
That entire division splits 1-1 next year.
I could see it. I mean, even Pittsburgh, they'll be a lot better. And having a quarterback battle in Pittsburgh, I think makes them better because even if they go with one or the other, they don't lose out on any money. Because they got that Russell Wilson steal with the Broncos.
The league minimum or something?
Yeah, they got it for $1 million, even though he's getting paid $40 million or something.
From the Broncos for the next 2 years.
So, I think they're okay. That division's going to be tough, but the better thing about it is now the AFC North in the winter, when it's snowing at all those stadiums, it's going to be electric.
Was the AFC North the first division to go all even last year, 500?
Was it them? It might have been.
I think
there was a division that did it.
Yeah, so it wouldn't shock me if those were the first division to all make playoffs as well next year.
No, I think
I don't see another team in there that's taking from the divisions, taking a wild card spot from them.
No, that's going to be tough. Those have 4 top teams, and
you can see Miami and Jacksonville.
Well, yeah, the East. Yeah. I was going to say the East. We've already kind of said has some question marks. The North has gotten incredibly better. They've traded mostly within division or dropped and re-signed. But that division's going to be good.
They just hurt each other.
Yeah, they really just do hurt each other. But, I think Ravens, Cincinnati right there at second, Pittsburgh than Cleveland. It's probably going to be how it shakes up if I had to guess. We'll roll over the AFC West. Old, reliable.
I'll leave this one to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos, Chargers. You know, Kansas City was supposed to have an off year last year. They fucking won the Super Bowl. They will be first. Undoubtedly.
I'll agree with first.
Unequivocally, they will be first. I don't see a God that allows them not to be right now. Bottom of that division is going to be Broncos.
Yes.
They're in cap salary hell. There's no shot that team can rally behind Sean Payton. I think this will be the first year that he feels like he can take over the team and have a say and feel like he's making progress.
But they're still down $40 million.
They're starting at zero. That's the problem.
They're starting below zero.
They're in the hole right now, filling it. So they're going to be dead last. The Raiders and Chargers, I don't know what happens there. I think the Chargers, if Herbert doesn't hurt his fingers with a healthier quarterback, they have an edge. But then the Raiders got Max Crosby and who was the other guy?
Cedric Will. No, it was the Dolphins really good player.
The Dolphins defensive end. That's a fucking
They've
issue.
also stacked up on the D-line.
Yeah.
So their defense is also really scary.
The defense on the Raiders horrifies me. Aiden O'Connell does not.
They're going to get a quarterback in the draft probably.
I feel like somehow they trade up and get one, even if they get like a veteran of some sort.
But who's their running back now?
Now that it's not Josh Jacobs, it's Zach White.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So
White.
Maybe they pick someone up in the draft. I don't know. Defensively, they're scarier. I would argue the Chargers are scarier offensively. I don't know if they tie like the Broncos and Raiders did last year, but that's a close second, third that I'm not willing to give one or the other to second or third. I mean, Jim Harbaugh coming in, I think
it's more of a rebuild year for the Chargers.
No, I've seen too much hype.
Yeah.
Every year there's too much hype for the Chargers, they fizzle out, and it's bad. Given they don't have Mike Williams and Keenan Allen to break their fucking legs anymore, I don't hate it because the wide receivers will suck, but they'll be healthy. So, I don't know. And who knows who they take in the draft. I don't even care anymore.
I just see KC losing a lot of games in the regular season.
Yeah, KC...
They're like the old Patriots where they just like get squeak through the season and try in the playoffs.
They know that all they have to do with Travis Kelce is get to the playoffs.
And
they don't need...
fine,
yeah, exactly.
They did take a hit, though, with that Rashid Rice.
If he gets jail time, I mean...
It's supposed to be 1 year, so I've been rumoring.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know if the Chiefs, what that looks like, but with Patrick Mahomes, that it'll be fine with the wide receivers. It'll just be interesting if they're like, come up star wide receiver one, did all that, and now he's, out
gone,
a year or permanently. Who knows what happens? I really haven't been keeping up with it that much. But I would say, Kansas City, 1. Las Vegas, Chargers, split 2. And then fourth will be definitely Denver, if I had to guess.
They'll probably be the worst team in the league, in my opinion. Yeah.
Sorry, Jordan. It's just how the life is. You might be able to sell that Drew Lock jersey now that he's been in the Hall of Fame for the Broncos, but it'll be interesting to go from there. That's all I've got to say about that. I don't like all the Jim Harbaugh hype, honestly. I don't like it. I think it's too much. There's too many people that are saying the Chargers are going to win that division next year just because he's there. Given he has done an immaculate job with terrible programs, it's going to be 2 or 3 years, I think, before they're in a legit conversation for they could go.
Do you see the rumor about what he's doing around in the locker room now?
I saw that he's moved all the lockers so that they're in numerical order.
And above them, they're putting their high school recruiting stars next to it.
That is an interesting way to go.
That's something you could do in college. I feel like...
What does that do for
a 28-year-old man who's been in the league for 5 years isn't really going to care what star he was in high school because he's already cut out for the league,
I agree. And the problem is that it's like... All I can think about is how badly this could go to the finger guns in the chop house. I'm just praying to God. And Jim Harbaugh's been in the NFL before, so I can't say this worries me, but there's a part of me that's like, I swear if he was at P.F. Chang's diddling, or can we just get to the playoffs? Like, all I want is Herbert to get a playoff win.
Yep.
That's all I want. Just so that part of it's out. But I'll stop ranting about the Chargers. We'll take a break for a second, and I'm going to pull up one of old K-Dog's fun facts that he sent me. So the first one he sent us was a Trevor Lawrence and Daniel Jones comparison. And the completion percentage between the two, Daniel Jones is higher completion percentage by 0.5. I think that is, yeah. Daniel Jones has, four more passing touchdowns, about 1,000 more rushing yards, a .2 higher passer rating, and Daniel Jones also beat Trevor Lawrence. He's undefeated against Trevor Lawrence.
Undefeated, okay.
And then the caption below it is, Trevor Lawrence is a generational talent, and Daniel Jones is a massive bust. It's a fair, that's a fair comparison, but also at the same time, the Giants have kind of been poverty.
Yeah, and he's kind of a bust for the amount of money he's been getting paid.
The money, but I can't remember what Trevor Lawrence's contract was off the top of my head.
I don't think it's nearly as much.
Or at least at the time, it wasn't enough that it, brought up ESPN headlines.
Yeah.
I agree, I don't know. It's a weird...
It's up there, yeah.
Doug Peterson versus the coach for the Giants. I like the coach... No, he's with the Browns now. Oh my God, he was with the Bills, this guy. I'll put his name above, but, it's fair, but also, the money.
Yeah.
What you're getting paid for, technically the Jaguars won on this only because they're paying him less for almost the exact same
But how
stats.
many quarterbacks did the Giants have last year? They
had 3, because they had...
Tyrod Taylor,
Danny
DeVito. Tommy DeVito.
DeVito. That was that crashed and burned quick.
That 3-week span though was fun.
No, that was good NFL internet right there because the Italian Americans that were enjoying their mafia moment. But that's one of Kevin's numerous fun facts that we've got. On to the AFC South. Houston, Jacksonville, Indiana, Tennessee. Just out of the gate. Tennessee loaded up this year.
Tennessee did?
Yeah, they got Pollard.
Yeah,
I'm
not a fan of Pollard.
I know you're not a fan of Pollard. They got that coach from the Bengals who's brought in 3 legendary NFL coaches because his dad was one of them.
Okay.
To help oversee the team, and then they brought in a wide receiver. Who was it? You can have your moment for a second. I'm gonna look up who they brought in because they brought in a wide receiver as well.
Sounds good. No, I think Houston's going 13-14 win season.
I could see that.
I don't see many teams being them with how much they loaded up this year.
Yeah, I mean, bringing in Diggs I think is huge, especially just
already on a stacked wide receiver because they got Nico Collins, Tank Dell.
Mm-hmm.
They had someone else too that played pretty well.
Dalton
I can't remember
Schultz.
Dalton Schultz, a tight end.
Oh, they brought in Calvin Ridley. That's who it was.
The Titans did.
Yeah,
okay.
that was the part I really liked. But
Calvin Ridley also didn't.
He didn't
even have a one spot guaranteed.
No, he didn't have a good year
because he was the second. Christian Kirk and him were fighting for the one.
Yeah,
and neither of them really looked like a top 15 wide receiver.
No, neither
one.
Yeah, and Trevor Lawrence did get hurt a few times in there, I think. But
I mean, if you look at all the good wide receivers, they would play without their starting quarterback. Higgins was able to do it.
Yeah, I know.
Amari Cooper is able to do it with the backup as well. Joe Flacco over.
I think that might be stretching a little bit, but I don't think Tennessee will be quite as bad. They might still be 4th. Houston definitely up their game. Joe Mixon, Dalton Schultz, Stephon Diggs. I mean, they have a cast of characters.
The trenches got built too.
They built the trenches, and they still have the draft.
And they have CJ Stroud on a rookie contract.
Yeah, so. They can load up, and they did this year. So I agree. I think
see a late playoff run from them.
I think Houston's 1. Now, when it comes to 2 between Jacksonville and Indianapolis, I think we have the Bengals back on our hand, where if Anthony Richards stays healthy, Jonathan Taylor, there's no drama this year about it. Last year they had that drama.
He's got his deal.
They have, inside stadium. I really think Indianapolis could pull off a 2 spot this year.
They were in between. Texans and Indiana played for the playoff spot at the end of the year. Yeah. I think Indiana stays 2.
I think Indiana stays 2. I think Jacksonville falls to 3. Oh, you think 4?
I think 4.
I'd be happy with 4.
I think Jacksonville falls to 4.
Okay, I could see that. I mean, like I said, Tennessee kind of built up. Jacksonville let a few people go. And now Doug Peterson, I like his coaching. Tennessee's got a new coach. But with the legendary coaches that Titans head coach now is bringing in, I can't remember his name to save my life, the offensive coordinator for the Bengals, or previously. It is what it is. But, I think he has a good shot of doing some real good job. I think, honestly, that Titans team just wasn't clicking because Rabel was fed up with the organization.
They started to look good, though, when Will Levis started to get his confidence back at the end.
Yes. That's still their current quarterback.
I believe so.
Yeah. So, and they have Malik Harris. What was
Willis? No.
They had someone else. No. They had someone else. Yeah. But I think Tennessee will be better. I think they'll improve. Jacksonville will fall. Indy goes to 2, and Houston probably stays as the definite 1 for now.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Jacksonville, didn't they have a crazy fall off? It started 7-1 or something?
No,
and then they went 1-7 to end the season.
Yeah, no, they plummeted, and it was bad. like damn near as bad as the Eagles.
They have a lot of pressure on them. I think they're not going to be able to hold up to that, just for the fact that they blew the division. They need to win 1 or 2 games in the last 7.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think Jacksonville's in turmoil. I personally hate a bunch of Jacks. I usually fade Jacksonville for the same reason I fade Miami, that I don't like all the quarterback comparisons.
That's fair,
and
yeah.
I don't fucking forget that Chargers playoff loss. So
yeah,
fuck them.
27-0.
Made my money, but what cost? Now, if you were to predict the playoffs, top 7 teams you think that are going to get in from the AFC? Just looking notionally.
Let me look real quick.
I'll give mine in the meantime if you want to kind of piece it together.
Yeah, do that, yeah.
I'm out of the gate. Buffalo makes it.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you on that, yes.
Ravens make it. Houston makes it. Kansas City makes it.
You think those are all the division leaders?
Yep, number 1 seeds out of the divisions. Just notionally, and this is pre-draft, way too early rankings, so don't fucking crucify me for this.
I'll agree with those 4, yes. Yeah.
I think those are my top 4 at the moment, out of the gate. I think Cincinnati also makes it. We got 5. Yeah. I really think Indianapolis sneaks in this year at 6.
It's not bad.
And I really want to give it to Miami. I don't think I will. I kind of want to give it to the Jets. I don't think I will. I think the Chargers and Raiders screw each other like they always do.
The split, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I might just give that to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's going to be my running, because the Dolphins have the ability. I just don't think they'll get there. I don't know.
They choke when they need to, when it matters. So that comes down close to the division. Because they lost division last year because they couldn't close out the game, right?
Yeah, Buffalo ended up winning that division. And, they got scorched in the Freezer Bowl last year, where all the fans got the fucking frostbite. But I think notionally that's what I'm going to go with, because Pittsburgh hasn't had the losing record yet, and they've only gotten better this year.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be my 7. I don't know if that's your exact
No,
same
I
7.
go with Houston, Kansas City, Buffalo, and Ravens. I agree with those 4.
Same 4.
But I think at least 3 teams are coming out of the North.
Oh, so you're just going to fill that with...
I think, no, it's going to be Ravens, Cincy, either Cleveland or Pitt, put those together. And then I think Miami, and if I had to do a sneaker to fit in that 4th, it'd probably be the Raiders.
Okay.
I think the defense might be able to carry them a little much.
I could see that.
Because the only teams out of the AFC I'd be scared of are Houston, AFC North, and Buffalo.
Yeah.
And they're in division of the Chiefs.
You're right. The Raiders
almost stuck and beat the Chiefs over their number 1 spot last year.
No, you're not wrong, especially because if the Chiefs get off to a slow start again, like we kind of assumed they will now, and the Raiders have that killer,
win their games they're supposed to.
I really think out of the AFC West, other than Broncos, sorry, Jordan, whoever has the best defense is really going to pull away from everyone else, because it feels like a lot of the AFC is loading up with weapons offensively, and it'll just be who can keep the other team to, sub 28 points.
And Kansas has the hardest schedule because they won the Super Bowl, and the Raiders don't really have that hard of a schedule.
Yeah, and I haven't looked that far in depth, but that'd be fun to do.
That'd be my dark horse. Not likely at all, but if there's
black
one.
And gray. Las Vegas makes it to the playoffs. The betting goes up, so even from the conspiracy
it's rigged to begin now.
Yep, it's rigged. So that's AFC. That's our predictions. Let us know what you think below. We'll move on to the NFC. NFC East out of the gate.
Yep.
Do you have any?
I'll give it to Philly.
You're gonna, okay.
Yeah, Philly's winning that. And then I honestly don't know if Dallas is going to make playoffs this year. Yeah. It hurts for me to say. I kind of want to put my expectations low, so if they do make it, it's like, okay, I'm happy. If it don't, hurt less. But the Commanders took a lot of players from us.
Yeah, the Commanders.
They had a really good free agency.
Yeah, they have Mariota, Austin Eckler, a few other players here and there. I can't remember.
And the New York Giants, I feel like they had they're the worst team in the NFC East, yeah.
It feels like they really
are. I have to go Philly, Dallas, Commanders, Giants. And then potentially, if the Commanders stay hot and they 2-0 Dallas, I think they sneak in over Dallas.
Wow, okay.
I think if the Commanders can beat Dallas 2 times, I think they'll be a 7th seed wild card.
If the Commanders beat Dallas twice, I think Dallas burns to the ground.
Dallas has done nothing so far. They still have to work out Dak's deal. They still have to work out CD Lamb's deal. They still have a lot of
next year is going to be rough. And if you've been listening actively to the podcast, you'll know Kevin has his conspiracy theories about it. which I don't think are far-fetched when he tells them to me.
I've had some hot takes, but if there's one of these hot takes, I think it's going to be Dallas dropping, just because there's so much they have to do on the inside of it.
Yeah.
And if they start losing a couple of games they're not supposed to, which they do at least one or two every single year, there might be some heads clashing, and then a lot of Jerry getting some heat like he usually does. It's going to get worse and worse throughout the years if they don't start winning.
Yeah, especially if they blow any home games, because they were, 10-1 in home games last year or something like that.
They went
9-0 at one point.
They beat the Lions to go undefeated at home.
Yeah, so...
And then they lost to the Packers at home in the playoffs.
I wasn't going to bring that up. That's not what I meant.
That was their one loss, buddy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry.
It was two seasons they went undefeated out.
Lordy. I mean, I agree. I think Philly's going to end up winning that division.
Easily.
I really think Dallas just drops to second, because I think the Giants and Commanders are still figuring it out. The Commanders picked up one of the worst running backs in the league.
Did they grow?
Austin Eckler.
Oh.
The Giants are the Giants. I mean, I don't think a little biased there, but I don't think Danny Dimes is that bad. I think the team has been trying to rebuild. They did lose Saquon, so
to the Eagles.
So, I do think it'll be Philly, Dallas, and I think it'll be Giants and Commanders arm wrestling for last place. I don't know how.
That's fair.
But, Commanders, I guess, do have the third or fourth pick this year. I can't remember which one in the draft. So maybe the Commanders sneak out and get the third, but I don't.
But I think, do they trust who'd they get? You said Mariota?
Yeah.
They also have Howell, which they'll probably start Howell.
I don't know if he's still there.
Is he not there anymore?
He might have moved. I'm not sure.
Never mind then.
But
I like Sam Howell.
I do too. I think them not giving him that starting job consistently was
build the team around him and give him a year, and now you already have the team built for a
new quarterback. Yeah. I completely agree. So. And the Commanders have new ownership. They have that ownership group with, I think, Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
So I think really the Commanders have a chance to get third. I don't think they're going to beat out the Cowboys or Philly. I think they're both on just a different level, even if they don't pan out the way we hope they do. We'll see. I don't really have a strong opinion because of the NFC East being as volatile as it has been.
That's the division I watch and follow the most, and it's the one I know the least about. It feels like every year.
It alternates so much. But we'll leave it at that. You kind of get the gist of what we're thinking. NFC North. Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, and Chicago. Chicago loaded up this year. Green Bay had an outstanding season that no one expected. Detroit, they've been biting off kneecaps for years. Minnesota lost Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect.
I think it's safe to say Minnesota is definitely going to be the worst in that division.
I think that is the safest opinion.
I think that's the safest opinion I can say there.
We can start out with agreeing Minnesota will be last in that division next year, notionally. Who knows what happens to Justin Jefferson, but I agree.
Now, where I go with this is I think Green Bay takes the division.
I could see that.
I think they looked too good last year, and with all the young players on that team, now they actually have a feel for each other and how to play. I think they're going to take one. Detroit also has a lot of pressure on them with them going to the NFC Championship last year.
And choking.
Yeah, they should have won it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to have so many eyes on them. They also have a lot harder schedule because they made it so far this year.
True.
So I think they're going to drop to 2. And
I could
biased. I hate Caleb Williams. I think he's going to be.
No, I actually 100% agree with that take. I think Green Bay. The fans were weary. The pressure around Jordan Love was cloudy because Green Bay does it the traditional way of growing a quarterback.
Yeah.
The right way, in my opinion. I hate the flashiness of what the Bears are going to do with just grabbing Caleb Williams, praying to God he works, cutting Justin Fields, and going next.
Caleb Williams has already gloated more
my God.
before he even gets drafted than Jordan Love has, and he already went pretty far to the playoffs at the first year.
The other part of that, too, is that Jordan Love was getting absolutely dissed by fans because they had Aaron Rodgers at the time. Aaron Rodgers needed weapons. I can't blame him because the thought process behind that's crazy, but it worked notionally after 1 year. I'm not going to say Jordan Love's, next Tom Brady, next Patrick Mahomes or anything like that, but I agree. I think a lot of the issues they had during the regular season first half were figured out by the second half. And I think because of that, going into next year with the draft, I think Green Bay takes first.
I think
honestly.
So too, yeah.
I think Detroit will be good. I don't think they lost too many players. They got rid of Reynolds.
Which he wasn't bad, but he was a wide receiver 3.
He dropped how many passes in that game?
Yeah.
Do you remember the end of that?
Oh my gosh, yes. So 2 touchdowns he should have had. And the 2-point conversion.
Yep. I don't think Detroit got any worse. I agree with you, though. The window / the fans, they had a great year last year that they expected to have a good year, but
they expected to have a bad year, like the rebuild year. I think Detroit.
I thought last year they were maybe it was a year off, but I thought last year was supposed to be better.
Okay.
I don't think they expected NFC Championship, so I think that's where like the we're just happy we're here mentality came from. But I think knowing that you got there, I think there's going to be more pressure.
There's going to be a lot more expectations on them to try to get back to that same part, and that's what kills the team.
I think that mentality they might struggle notionally with, so that's why I'd put Green Bay, then Detroit. Minnesota's last, so Chicago's got to be third. Chicago's going to have a kind of, they built their defense up pretty good. They have Caleb Williams,
DJ Moore, and they got
Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
And they have Khalil Herbert, I think, is still the running back there.
I think so.
We'll just go with it.
I don't watch the Bears.
No one does. They might now, but Caleb Williams, I don't have a strong opinion because I didn't watch him much. He was annoying as hell in college, but I don't know. I will say about first overall picks is it sucks because Joe Burrow was a first overall pick.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Everyone liked him. Maybe you have your college opinions, but like him going back to Cincy had a really good story around it.
Yeah.
Then you get first round picks like Caleb Williams to the Bears.
Was Sam Darnold the number 1 overall or no?
He might have been. I don't know.
Or Trey Lance.
One of them.
I can't remember.
Trey Lance was a third.
Was he third?
He was a surprise pickup from the 49ers.
Okay. Never mind then.
Sam Darnold might have been. I can't remember. But there's too much cloudiness. I really hate the Bears drop Justin Fields. I understand like the injury prone, but at least then you know what you're getting.
You took a gamble getting Justin Fields.
Yeah.
He ended up being mediocre, but he still could be great if he gets the right supporting cast around him. And you know what you have with him. Never get another rookie quarterback that could
I don't like the
flop
gamble
and be worse.
No,
yeah.
I completely agree.
You know what you're working with. Work to his strengths and build around him instead of rebuild next year if it goes bad.
Yeah, and I can't remember if the Bears really built up their line at all because obviously they were getting crucified with that.
Yeah.
But, Bears third, Vikings fourth, I think.
Agreed.
I'm not going to rant about it too much more. AFC West, NFC West. Why do I have that labeled AFC?
Yeah.
Whoops, might be.
NFC.
San Francisco, Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals. I don't know what to think about this division.
I like that list right there.
I
don't think anything changes from that four.
I really think it ends up being a repeat of last year. I don't know. Seahawks got rid of Pete Carroll. I think that's going to hurt them.
Niners won't be as dominant this year.
No.
People learn how to play against them.
Yeah, plus with the 49ers, I wouldn't say injury prone, but it felt a lot like they had the opposite end of the stick from the previous year where they were on Christian McCaffrey as a QB.
Yeah.
I like Brock Purdy. I don't think he's bad. He's earned his,
He's earned his stripes.
He has earned his stripes. He's a great quarterback. it feels like there's a lot of frustration in that locker room. They'll be good. They'll be good. But I think, it's getting close to that end.
And there's talks of Ayuk maybe going somewhere,
Ayuk has been putting cryptic messages out on Instagram.
Which will hurt him.
So question mark it. But
I think Debo should be one over Ayuk anyway.
I think Ayuk has been hurt too much to be one. And Debo's Debo. He's a great player. They have too many great players, it feels like. And they're getting to this spot where everyone's
clashing.
like, if everyone's super, no one is moment. And then there's Kittle.
When the contracts come back, that team's gonna fall apart when the contracts come back.
I agree, but I think next year San Francisco will hold that one spot. The Rams, Stafford's a dog. Maybe he gets hurt a little bit more. They did lose Aaron Donald.
Lost Donald, but they still have Puka. Coming in as their second year.
Yeah.
After leading the rookie record in receiving yards and receptions.
Yep, and they have Cooper Kupp.
And is Tutu Atwell still on that team?
I think
he's pretty good too.
Yeah, and honestly,
and they have Kyron Williams at running back as a dog. Yeah.
When you see Seattle and Arizona, and they have Sean McVay as a head coach, still decent, really good head coach. I think you're right. I'd still put him at second. Seattle and Arizona maybe flip from third and fourth. I don't really know if I believe in Arizona.
Arizona has a high pick though, don't they?
Yes.
They have really high pick.
Is it fourth?
It's fourth
because they were going to get. The
They said they're only selling their fourth pick for 3 first rounds.
Yes. Which if they do that, then Arizona jumps to 3 or 2.
But they're also probably going to draft Marvin Harrison Jr.
They could
because they're going to keep Kyler Murray. There's no reason to get rid of him.
I would assume, but I don't know what to expect from Seattle. With just they have a great wide receivers,
Lockett and
good
Metcalf,
defense.
And
I can't
they
remember.
have that Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, and they have Kenneth Walker the third.
Kenneth Walker the third. Yeah.
They're stacked too. I don't know. I think Arizona and Seattle battle for third. I think the Rams hold off second. San Francisco keeps first, honestly. Arizona, it just feels like they're just not getting there. to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even with Kyler Murray, they're a much different team and they're much better.
Most of their wins came with Josh Dobbs last year. They only had 4 wins, right?
Yeah, they had 4 wins. I can't remember when Kyler Murray came in. If he did,
it was like week 9 or 10, yeah, I think, because Kyler Murray beat the Eagles when they were on the plane ride home from Dallas. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't know. The Cardinals scare me. I don't hate Kyler Murray by any means. Like I hate Tua and fucking Trevor Lawrence.
Kyler Murray gave Dallas the
the
division leader last year.
That was electric watching Red Zone on the plane. By the way, nothing. All you can do is sit there and watch. Yeah, let's fly on a Sunday more often.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a great feeling. And Seattle getting a new head coach, I think is more of a red flag than a green flag when you get rid of Pete Carroll and his superb gum on the sideline.
Yeah.
So that division scares me because I don't know who's going to be the bottom. I do think Rams second, San Francisco first.
I agree with that.
Easy enough. Now the gem of the NFL, the NFC South.
There might be one good team there this year if everything goes well.
Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Atlanta, Carolina. Does Kirk Cousins just come out of this in first?
That's what I'm thinking. If everything goes as it should, I think Atlanta takes it. And then Tampa Bay right behind them.
I could see that. I don't hate that take. I think Baker's done an amazing job.
Because they loaded up, right? The Falcons?
Yes, because they got Kirk Cousins. They kept Kyle Pitts. They still have Drake London. They have Bijan Robinson. They got rid of the head coach that was like not using players effectively, Arthur Smith.
Smith, yes.
I don't know what was going on.
He went somewhere, though.
Steelers.
Okay, Steelers last.
We're going to go back to where we were. But yeah, I don't know what to expect, honestly, from that division. I think Saints and Carolina, bottom. I don't know how they switch it up. I don't know if Bryce Young actually looks good this year.
And who was the Saints quarterback / tight end?
Oh, Taysom Hill.
He's gone, right?
I think he's still there.
Is he?
I thought so.
I thought one of them left.
Maybe he did. I know Derek Carr's still there. You might be thinking of Jameis Winston moving to Cleveland.
Yeah, I thought, didn't he play quarterback tight end?
Yeah. No, he might have had a couple like wide receiver plays. They had like a 3 quarterback play at one point.
Did they? Okay.
And I don't know if he was on Tampa Bay or New Orleans. I want to say he was on New Orleans.
I'm pretty sure he was on New Orleans. Yes.
Fucking hell, that man confuses me. It is what it is for them. But yeah, I would say Atlanta has a good shot because they get a veteran quarterback that knows what they're doing with good wide receivers. Kyle Pitts is tight end, Bijan Robinson, new head coach, which I don't
very
think
young team and a veteran quarterback running it.
Good
overall.
Good sign. Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield. I mean, they're a little injury prone, so I definitely give them second.
Mike Evans stayed though, which is huge.
Evans stayed. Chris Godwin's still there.
Yep.
I don't even.
They haven't changed.
No,
much.
They really haven't. I don't even know who they have as a running back, but because Fournette's
gone,
the Buffalo, so that's where he is.
My
God, yeah, maybe in the draft. I guess.
Yeah. And then Carolina, what have they done? They still have Thielen, I think.
I think they do.
They still have Chuba Hubbard.
DJ Chark.
Or
whatever it is. I don't know, man.
The Patriots are battling for the worst team in the NFL this year.
Yeah, I mean, I only give the Patriots the edge because his coach's name is Mayo.
Yeah.
But, Carolina just feels like a shit show. I mean, the owner was throwing drinks at fans. Electric. That's electric. Don't get me wrong. I like that type of shit.
The only good reason why they're in the news.
Yeah, man. I don't know. So we'll do the same thing for the NFC that we did for the AFC.
That works.
Top 7. I don't know if you've got it. You want to go first?
After you. Okay. I gotta take a gander.
I definitely think Philadelphia, Green Bay, Atlanta, San Francisco.
Who's your one overall?
One overall. I'd probably lean Philly.
Philly?
I'd lean Philly over San Francisco this year.
Okay.
Just because it rarely happens that stuff repeats in the exact same order. Now, my 3, I guess it's wild cards, technically.
Wild cards, yeah.
3 wild cards. I would have to go Detroit as a wild card. I would go Tampa Bay as a wild card. And I think I'm going to go Dallas. I mean, I don't think they'll last. That's in no particular order for the wild cards.
They'll be in the hunt at least till the end of the year.
I think it'll come down to Dallas and the Rams. Given we have not looked at the schedules, once that comes out, Kevin and I will probably have a separate video about it. To be honest, but that's how I shake it up.
My thing is, I think Green Bay, San Fran, Atlanta, and Philly. I agree with those 4. Also, that streak's still alive with the NFC East team.
Flipping.
Yeah, 19 years now as a team hasn't won twice in a row.
Yep, and that's why I give it to Philly, honest. That stat alone is why I think Philly does it somehow.
And then, I think Detroit and Tampa Bay sneak in there. And then I know I said the Commanders as the dark
dark horse.
Yeah, but I'd put Dallas in there most likely.
Yeah,
but it's hard to read.
It's early. I think it's way too early.
I think Green Bay could probably take number 1 overall.
Really?
If they play the way they were playing last year.
That's a good take, actually. I didn't even think about that.
Because earlier in the season, they were still meshing together and learning. Towards the end of the season, they looked dominant. So if they come out looking like the way they were last year, I think they take the division.
Well,
take the number 1 overall.
Green Bay and Philadelphia is the first game this season. Brazil,
yeah, okay.
And Philly's losing a home game.
No, that's the second game, I think. It's opening weekend game.
It's a Friday game? Is there a Thursday game?
I think there's a Thursday game, and then the Friday game is... You want to stat check me real quick?
I'll put it up here.
Sounds good.
We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out
right.
later. It'll be easier to look on my computer. But that'll be interesting, no doubt.
That game's 50-50, though, just because everyone's going to be jet-lagged.
No, yeah.
And in a different environment.
That'll be interesting. I don't know what to expect from that game. We'll figure out the lines on that game later.
I just feel like there's not many teams of the NFC anywhere near the caliber of the AFC. That's the problem.
It feels like it, but I think it's because the NFC has been more defense oriented, and the AFC has been stacking up on weapons.
I can see that too. Yeah.
But even then, it's like Dallas last year had a crazy defense. Honestly, Green Bay's stepped up. Detroit's was pretty good.
Their offense was good, but it was kind of
San Fran. Yeah. I might be just shooting the shit with that one, but we got some Kevyn Coy fun stats to run through before we close this up. So, crazy but true, Phillip Rivers led the league in passing yards in 2010 with 4,700 yards and didn't have a receiver with more than 782 receiving yards. That is the most Charger stat I've ever heard. Justin Herbert's carrying on that legacy well.
Yeah.
Every team's best offseason acquisition, probably won't hit that. It shows all 32 teams.
Nah.
Bills allowed Diggs to seek a trade from everyone but the Chiefs.
I did see that.
That's hilarious. I mean, I can't blame him. You didn't want him to pull anything on you. I saw that tweet before. Eric Fisher is the only number 1 pick to win a Super Bowl with the team that drafted him in the last 25 years.
I saw that.
That's wild.
That's pretty cool.
Wow, that almost was Joe Burrow.
Wait, who was Mahomes drafted to?
It wasn't number 1 pick.
Oh, you're right. Never mind, yeah.
Eric Fisher was number 1 overall.
So the number 1 overall,
it's just funny to think about that. And, wow, that's all we had. K. Coy, you weapon. I don't know if I have anything else.
I don't got much else either.
No, we actually did that a little longer than I thought I would. But, yeah, that's going to be the podcast for today, everyone. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share. Tell everyone you know. I thought I had more to say at the end there.
Oh, you're good. The loud mode works.
It works. It gets the point across. We'll see you all next week. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great week. Koi Pond at.